So this is what happened in the recent movie The Last Blitz. So it is a survival thriller based on a true story about a deep sea diver, Chris Lemons, so who gets stranded underwater with almost no oxygen and little hope of rescue. The movie takes us on an intense journey of fear, hope, and sheer human resilience. Introduction of the movie. So the job of a saturation diver, that is what we're going to talk about now. We're going to talk about the three phases of the movie. So the first one, the film begins by introducing us to a team of professional saturation divers working in the North Sea. So these divers have one of the most dangerous jobs you can ever think of in this life. Yeah, this is the divers that do the work. They have it. And first of all, they live in a pressurized chamber for weeks, breathing a special gas mix so they can work at extreme depths without getting the compression sickness. Now, the actors in the movie. Chris Raymond, played by Phil Cole, is one of these divers along with his teammates Dave and also Duncan. So they work underwater pipelines, making sure everything runs smoothly for gas and oil companies, and you know that those people make a lot of money. So these divers are the people that work for them, making sure that everything runs smoothly. And according to the movie, they are going to shake the stuff because of Christmas is around the corner, so they want to shake and make sure everything is going to run well for Christmas period. The team operates from a large support vessel above water. A special diving bell takes them down to the seabed, where they step out in heavy suits and helmets connected to the ship by an umbilical cord. This umbilical cord supplies them with oxygen, power, and communication. Without it, they are completely cut off. Now, here is where the disaster begins, a fatal failure system. Here is where everything starts to fail in the movie. So one day, Chris and Dave are sent down to work on a pipeline, while Duncan stays inside the diving bell to monitor them and to tow them down, giving them also their helmets and everything, and giving them oxygen they need. So everything seems normal at first, but then out of nowhere, the ship above them starts to drift offshore, or starts to drift off from its positioned place. So this happens because the vessel's dynamic positioning system, DPS, which keeps it in place using computer controlled thruster, suddenly fails. Everything suddenly cuts off. The ship starts moving, dragging the diving bell with it. Since Chris and Dave are still outside of the seabed, their umbilical cords gets pulled very tightly. But Dave manages to get back to the diving bell in time. But Chris manages to get back on the diving bell, but his umbilical cord was entangled on the seabed. Yeah, so the movement of the ship pulls him violently, and suddenly his umbilical cord snaps. At the moment, Chris loses everything: his oxygen supply, power, and communication in the seabed, where it is very, very dark, where it is pitch dark, that you can't see anything without torchlights, and you cannot even try diving up or swimming up. He is now completely left alone in the freezing pitch black depths of the ocean, over 300 feet below the surface. Here comes the fight for survival for Chris. Only 10 minutes of air with his umbilical cord gone, Chris is left with only the tiny emergency air tank on his diving suit. These tanks are meant to last just 10 minutes, only 10 minutes for each person, each diver. Once you disconnect from your main oxygen, that is your umbilical cord, you are going to use this one for only 10 minutes. So he also has no way to move around easily because his suit is incredibly heavy. So at this depth, it is impossible to swim to the surface. If he even tried or dreamed of trying to swim to the surface, the pressure change will kill him instantly. So his only hope is that his crew can find him and rescue him on time. But without communication, they don't know where he is, which is they lost the whole communication. Meanwhile, on the surface, the crew is in full panic mode. They are very, very in the full panic mode. They are desperate, trying to fix the ship's system and bring the diving bell back to Chris' last known location. But in the vast darkness of the seabed, even a few meters of distance can mean the difference between life and death. And now the main problem there is that Chris have stayed in this seabed for more than 30 minutes. That is according to the movie. He stayed there for up to 40 minutes. And then there comes a race against time. The crew's desperate search. Dave and Duncan prepare for the most dangerous rescue attempts of their lives. Yeah, this is the rescue attempt that are not tried it before in their lives. Yeah, they haven't. Especially Dave, who actually rescued him in the movie. As soon as the ship regains control, they quickly lower the diving bell back to the seabed and begin searching for Chris. They don't know if Chris is actually still alive or dead. More than 30 minutes have passed and nobody heard from Chris, and Chris couldn't communicate with anybody because all the connection have been disconnected and everything far beyond what his emergency tank should have lasted. After what feels like an eternity, they finally spot his body lying motionless on the ocean floor. So the impossible survival is, how did Chris survive that 40 minutes without air, without oxygen especially, which scientists can't prove. Some scientists say that he is surviving for that much long hour walked because of his luck, that is his lucky of surviving for that much hour. So I think that the movie is a great movie. If you haven't seen it, you can enter your Netflix and see the movie. And thanks for watching my review, and hit the subscribe button. See you in my next video.